What's up, y'all? My name is Nate. Welcome to Throttle Only. Today I have a 2024 GLB 250. Let's check it out. All right, so before we go ahead and hop on in, let's look at this key fob here. So it's a very slim key fob and it has a very nice weight to it as well. All of your controls will be found on the front side here, and there's nothing on the back. All right, so starting up front here with this beautiful GLB 250, we're gonna talk about this hood. So there are 4 body lines actually on this hood, but I think the primary ones are the ones that are on either side of the small Mercedes-Benz logo up here at the top. And honestly, it just gives it a really nice sporty appearance. Then of course, as we make our way down, there is that small Mercedes-Benz logo. And then if we make our way down into the front fascia there's a giant Mercedes logo there that looks very good. And it's kind of wrapped with this nice chrome grille. That is that refresh grille, and I think it works very well for this GLB. So now let's take a look at these daytime running lamps here that look very nice at night. When you turn on the turn signals or the hazards, the daytime running lamp will turn into an amber color, which I am such a fan of. It also has LED high performance beams on as well, which are just standard LED projector headlamps. It also has fog lights down below, which look very nice. So as far as the design language up front here, I think it is pretty basic, but then again, this is the base model of this. If you want something a little bit more aggressive, you can always add the AMG Night package, which will block out a lot of this chrome, or you could just get the AMG models, which will have a whole different grille altogether. Now coming back to this vehicle here, the last 2 things that I can note styling wise here are this giant chrome piece that's down below here, and then you also have some interesting mesh grille type material below this other grille up top here. So now that I'm at the side of the vehicle here, we're going to talk about the wheels for just a sec here. So these wheels are 18-inch 5-spoke wheels, and I think they look pretty decent, especially for what the rest of this vehicle looks like and all the chrome that it has. So up front, this does have 2 35/55 tires as well as in the back, but this is going to be front wheel drive. Now, as we make our way back and we look at these mirrors do fold. They also have a blind spot indicator on the inside of the mirror there. The LED indicator is on the outside, and when you switch into reverse, those mirrors will tilt down for you. Now, as we look at these door handles, the door handles do have the standard proximity sensing in them that a lot of the other cars have today. This does have a nice chrome strip on the top here. This also is going to have 1 chrome strip down below where you might have a side skirt in some other vehicles, and 2 body lines here on the side, 1 above the door handles and then 1 down where that side skirt is. As we make our way back to the very rear here, there's not much other styling here other than the chrome pieces that surround the windows, and then lastly, these rails that sit up on the roof here. So now looking at the rear here, starting at the top, so there is a body colored roof spoiler that protrudes out just a little bit there, and your third brake light will be housed up there as well. And this rear glass is pretty vertical, so it does have a wiper there so you can clean that glass off there. And then on this side here, there is a GLB 250 badge. I think that looks very nice in this chrome color. If this was an all-wheel drive model, it would also have a 4MATIC badge, but it does not. On the center there is a Mercedes-Benz logo, which looks very good. And you might notice you might not be able to see a reverse camera here, and that's because that'll go ahead and pop on out once you hit into reverse. So now as we take a look at these tail lamps, I really love this design here because when they're lit up, they do have 4 individual pieces that are lit up, and I think that looks very nice. When the turn signals are turned on, it does have an amber turn signal, which looks very good. Then as we make our way down, there is a nice chrome little lip here just above where you'd open up the trunk. And then as we make our way down further to where we have these dual exhausts are fake. And in between these dual exhausts, there's just a nice chrome panel there. There are 3 trims available for the GLB lineup. The base model is the GLB 250. The middle trim is the GLB 250 4MATIC. And the top trim is the AMG GLB 35. The starting MSRP for a 2024 GLB 250 is $44,450 US. Under the hood, it has a 2-liter inline 4-turbo with mild hybrid drive. It produces 221 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. It has an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it's front-wheel drive. It can go 0 to 60 in 6.9 seconds. In the city, the GLB gets 25 miles per gallon, 33 on the highway, and 28 combined. Okay, so here's a look at the engine bay here. Nothing special. It has a nice cover on it. It has a Mercedes logo. Very small looking engine. And then let's just take a look at where the engine lies in relation to these front wheels here. And there we are. So now let's take a look at the trunk space here on this GLB 250. I'm going to go ahead and use the key fob here to unlock the trunk, but keep in mind this does have the kick to open and close, which is very convenient. So I'm going to go ahead and hold the key fob. It'll open right on up. There's a good amount of room in here. You can see on this left side here, there's a nice light here, as well as a small little compartment, a small area to hang something if you would like. You can also store some small items here. There's a nice strap on this side, and on the other side there's a nice little compartment here as well. There's also a strap and another little compartment there. Now underneath this loading floor here, you have the battery, and as we come on back up here, there is a cargo cover, and you can just easily pull that and it'll come right into place. And you can also easily release this as well. And you can completely remove this cargo cover as well and put all of the seats down here in the back. There are 3 seats here, and all of which can be folded. As you can see, there are splits there in the center. So to fold down the seats, you'll have to use these straps here, and you can just pull on those, and there's one on each side and in the middle. So here's a side view of what it looks like with the second row folded all the way flat. And here's what it looks like with the second row folded all the way flat and the cargo cover removed. You can see there is a good amount of room there. So as we look at the door panels here in the rear, they are very simple. They have a very nice Mercedes-Benz text material on them, all black of course. It does have your unlock and locking controls here, as well as one window control, a pretty nice grab handle, and some storage down below. And overall, I think this door panel looks pretty nice. So let's go ahead and hop in. So now sitting in the rear of this GLB, you could probably see how cramped I am. I do have the seat in front of me adjusted for my own height at 6'1". My knees unfortunately are just about touching this seat, but there is enough room for my legs and my feet. Also behind these seats here, there are nice little nets here, so if you wanted to store some stuff, you could do that. These seats are also extremely comfortable back here with this nice MB Tex, as they call it. And then as far as your climate control options, there's no electronic pad or anything to control, but you can control the 2 vents that are located back here. Also, there are 2 USB Type-Cs and a 115 volt power adapter and a small little slot for some storage in this center console area. And then lastly, there is a pretty nice armrest back here, and if you push these 2 buttons here, it'll go ahead and open up the cup holders and reveal them to you. And unfortunately, there's no panoramic sunroof optioned for this GLB, so it's just a plain black roof. So here's a look at the passenger side door panel here. We'll start at the top with this nice Mercedes-Benz star pattern. It looks very good. There's also a heated seat option here. This is where the ventilated seat option would sit. But for the heated seats, there are 3 different modes there. And this is your automatic seat controls with 3 different memory seat options there. Your unlock and locking buttons there. You can also open the door using your lever there. This is the button for your windows. And there's a nice grab handle here. I like this nice aluminum look there as well. And then as far as your armrest here, it's a little bit padded, and there's some storage down below here. And then this is your speaker grill. As we enter the vehicle, there's a nice Mercedes sill here. It does not illuminate. There's some lumbar adjustments there. There's also a manual thigh support. And then up from there, here's a look at the glove box. Pretty decent size in there. And then in front of the passenger, there's more of this nice star pattern by Mercedes-Benz. Looks very good, gloss black material, and then some aluminum as well. And then a pretty soft touch dash up here. And then coming back to these Mercedes-Benz tech seats, these are heated, no ventilated option on these. And now looking at the driver's side door panel here, it's the same exact thing as the passenger side there. Beautiful materials here, automatic seat controls, except you do have all of the window controls here. You can also adjust the mirrors. And then down below from here, there's also the trunk button that'll sit right there. Nice pockets here and a speaker grille. And as we enter that same Mercedes-Benz sill, there are rubber pedals down below. And then as we enter, same exact seats that are heated with the non-ventilated option. So inside of the vehicle, looking at this armrest and center console, this armrest is actually very plush, and you just push this button to go ahead and open it, and it'll open from both sides here. Now inside, it is actually pretty deep, and there are two USB Type-Cs in there. Now just up from the console, there's this nice area for some storage. It does have this nice material here so that if you wanted to store some stuff, it's not going to slide around. There's a dynamic mode selector, so you can select whatever drive mode you would like. A nice volume knob here as well that has a nice texture to it. A blank switch here, and then a quick camera button as well. Now as you move on up, there are the cup holders that sit right there. If you do have something that's a little small, you can just push these buttons here and it'll extend out a little bit more for you. There's one more USB Type-C here, as well as a 12-volt adapter right there. And then there's some more storage and wireless charging there just up from there. And I have no idea what this little thing is, but it's some sort of separator. So maybe if you have a phone down here, you can pull this over it and it's not going to come out, or maybe put something else on top of that. Now here's a look at the center portion here, so you can increase or decrease your temperature. Here's a menu for your climate control options here. You can also adjust the fan speed very quickly there. You can adjust to auto. You can also turn on different areas of the AC for the front and the rear. Here's your hazard button right here. You can also adjust whether you want the ventilation to be on or off coming through the front of the vehicle. Then your AC and your sync button is located right there. And you have these very beautiful vents just up from there that look very nice, and it does have ambient lighting that shines through them. And there is also one on the passenger side and another one here on the driver's side. All right, and as we move on up to this infotainment screen is pretty small. I do wish that it was a bit bigger, perhaps even if it was just elongated to here. It doesn't even need to be taller, but I find that when I'm sitting in the driver's seat just like this, it blocks my view and I'm unable to see most of what is going on here on that infotainment screen. So anyway, coming back to this, it does have phone, radio, media, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. There's also apps, comfort. If I were to hit comfort here, you can adjust the seat kinetics. It'll essentially just move the seats around so your butt doesn't get sore. And then there is a ton of ambient lighting options here. You can adjust the color, the brightness, and the effects. For example, if I were to increase the temperature for the AC, you can see now that the vents change to a red color, or if I decrease it, then it changes to a blue color. And going back to home here, I can also click info, so it'll give me some engine data there. So if I were to push on the gas or the accelerator, then it gives me a live little representation of what's going on. So moving on and looking at this steering wheel here, so there's a nice Mercedes-Benz logo here in the front. And then nice little stalk that runs all the way down here, and this does have a little pass-through area. And then on the left-hand side here are all the cruise control options here, and this home button and OK and back button are going to be for this digital infotainment screen here in the front. If I were to hit home here, then I can adjust what background screen I would like. Here's the sport screen. And you can continue to just adjust these. Here's a classic mode, the assistance mode here, and then lastly the service mode. Now this does have paddle shifters. You can see there on the left side here there's the minus, and on the right side there's the plus. And then also on the right side of the steering wheel there's the media controls as well as the phone controls. And then this home button and OK and back button are for this screen right here. You can easily just push the home button here. It'll take you to home, and then you can also just swipe to select whatever you would like. And before we take it out for a drive here are all of your controls up top here for your lighting. And then as far as the visor, these visors are pretty large, and there's a pretty decent sized mirror in here as well. And this does come up, and unfortunately it does not extend any further than this. All right, y'all, I'm in the driver's seat of this beautiful 2024 GLB 250. I'm gonna start off this driving experience with a 0 to 60. I'm already in sport mode. Let's go ahead and go. Ooh. There's 60. Not too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it back into comfort mode. And honestly, that is really where this GLB belongs, especially because it's the base model. It's just a very comfortable vehicle to drive. And there is a lot of body roll as I'm going through a corner right now. I can definitely feel it being tossed every which way. But again, this isn't performance oriented. It definitely is a family type SUV that is focused on good gas mileage, which it does get pretty good gas mileage. It says that a combined rating of about 28 miles per gallon. The most I was getting was about 23 to 25, but still, that's still really good. So as far as the speed and handling, it does handle pretty well. The steering is pretty soft. I do have it currently in the comfort mode, so it does wiggle a good amount. But if I go ahead and switch it into sport mode, it does stiffen up just a little bit, but like I said before, there is a decent amount of body roll here. So this does have some decent amenities as well, like the cruise control works very well. It does have very nice digital infotainment screens and TAC and everything like that. So if you wanted to switch different views and whatnot, you could do so, which is very nice. I'm coming up to a stop sign right now. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it in comfort mode, but I'm gonna do a 0 to 60 here. Mercedes claims that it's 0 to 60 in 6.9 seconds. And it cuts power there for just a second. So this is front wheel drive, and I can feel that the engine is actually a really strong engine, but it just really cannot put the power down. So I'm curious what this would be like with a 4MATIC. I'm sure that the 0 to 60 time would be cut down just a little bit, but not too much, but at least a decent amount. So the transmission is actually pretty good in this too. The shifts are very quick, which is kind of surprising. I think this sport mode is best used when you're already going and you're not launching it from a dig or anything like that, especially since it has that front wheel drive. So other than the sport mode and the handling and all that stuff, I mean, this is a very nice vehicle overall. I mean, this is sitting around $45,000. I think definitely if I could get this cheaper, I definitely would. It just feels nice. It's very comfortable. And I'm definitely a fan of this GLB. So guys, if you enjoyed this review, please consider subscribing or even just hitting that like button. I would very much appreciate it. I do work full time, so I try to film on my off days. But thank you so much for tuning in if you've made it this far, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.